Hey, welcome back to another episode of Active Every Day. Today we're jumping back into a core strength workout. Once we get through our warm-up, we'll be focusing on how to brace our core to stabilize our spine, how to breathe properly, and working those two ideas together. We'll be working on planks. We'll be working on seated rotation exercises. We'll also be working on side bending exercises. Okay, let's jump right into it. We'll start with our normal movement patterns for our neck. Big circular patterns. We're looking for 5 to 10 reps for each direction. We'll do all of one direction in a row first. Just generally loosening up our spine, starting from the top down. Again, we're going to be doing 5 reps myself, but if you feel as though you'd like more, just pause the video and do a few more. Hit play when you're ready to jump back in. And we move into our trunk. Okay, 5 each way. Just loosening up the middle of our body. And these are good exercises not to just loosen up our spine so that we're reducing injury risk and keeping our flexibility and mobility. We're also taking a moment to really just kind of tune into our body. How does our body feel? How well can we control moving certain aspects of our body? So now our pelvis tilts, we stick our hips back, we tuck our hips under. This movement we're going to talk about again once we get into some of our exercises like our planks. And then we have a hip turn. Again, I like to put my hands up at my chest, and it's just twisting in the middle of the body. Turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right. I don't find it to be easy to put my hands here because as soon as my hips turn, my arms want to turn and my shoulders turn. Okay, hands could go out to the side, that's fine too. Okay, let's do our wrists, we'll do our shoulders, we'll do our ankles, we'll do our hips. 5 each way. Okay. If we really wanted to improve our mobility, not just get a check-in with the body and a way to loosen up, we need to spend more time doing these and maybe additional exercises. And we take care of those in our mobility workouts. But for the warm-up, just want to get everything moving a little bit, check in with it, see how it's feeling. Okay. Feel our body temperature rise a little bit. Increase our circulation. Okay. Ankles. If you follow along with these series, you know we have an option to sit down to do them or stand in balance. You can hold the leg up with the arms, or you can just let the leg hang down. Just get the rotations in with the ankle. Okay, let's go 5 each way. Ooh, there we go. And we'll do our hip step out, step in. Step out, step in. Let's get 5. I like this warm up because it doesn't take too long. We could do it again if we needed more. If I felt stiff or tight anywhere, I could just repeat that one or those 2 movements. It's a list that is familiar because we do most of these each time we work out. So we have a bit of a standard for ourselves. We can tell when we have good balance during a warm-up. We can tell when we don't. We already discussed, we can tell if we're tight or if we're loose. And I like this warm-up too because it's easy to add to any part of the day. If I've been sitting for a long period of time, I can stand up, do a couple of movements, and I'm ready to roll. Right before bed, if I'm feeling a little stiff from the day, there's just so many times it's easy to add these in. Let's talk about bracing. So for any exercise, if we can bring some attention to how well these muscles around our body are working, we may be stronger, we may be able to resist force or create better force. We also may be able to stabilize our spine and make any type of movement loaded, bending over, you name it, twisting, safer for our spine. So, what are we talking about? Bracing. How do we brace? There's a couple ways to think about this. A lot of ways it's described. Let's try this way today. If I take my hands and I just start kind of pressing on my stomach, my muscles, when I'm not braced, are going to be loose. So I'm going to be able to stick my fingers right in there. If I brace my core, brace my muscles, when I press against my body's going to be firm. And you'll notice I'm still talking while I have my muscles braced. I'm not holding my breath to create a brace, although it might feel intuitive. Take a breath and hold it, because that might make it feel easier to brace. But best case scenario, we learn how to brace while we're still talking. So if that didn't quite make sense yet, you can't figure out how to brace, one other way to help increase that feeling of the brace is take some air, exhale, and when you exhale, you'll feel your muscles brace. So that gives us the empowerment to let a little bit of air out, not all of my air, and then each time I exhale, I may feel my core brace a little bit more. And the last piece we'll touch on is if I do inhale and I expand my body, now when I brace, I have all this expansion in air that's also going to support inward toward my body. So as you keep practicing bracing, when you're trying to understand how or when to breathe during an exercise, try to inhale before the reps begin, let little bits of air out throughout the reps, and if you run out of air, try to inhale again. That's okay, but this idea of always active and strong and braced can be beneficial. So when you see me start to exercise, I'm always bracing, and it becomes second nature with practice. A plank. Hands on the bench or on the floor. Let's get our body in a nice straight line. Don't forget to brace. We'll start our first set for 10 seconds. Let's get on our hands. Let's make sure our body is in a nice straight line. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax for a moment. We'll do a few sets in a row today of the same exercise. Let's think about some different details that can help our plank stronger. We already know while I'm in my plank, I can brace. Another aspect is thinking about how high up we're pressing. I don't mean sticking my hips up. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Instead of being kind of relaxed into my arms and into my shoulders, I really want to extend and get as much as I can out of my arms. Again, it's not pushing back. Let's go ahead and get set. Let's hold for 15 seconds. Now, I'm not going to count out loud the whole time, and it's not going to be exactly 15, but it's going to be thereabouts. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent. We have a few more sets to go. Follow along. You can change your version if you'd like as I change mine, or just go back to the hand plank if that's working well for you. I'm going to stay on the bench. We could make it on the floor if we wanted it to be harder, but I'm just going to stay on the bench for now. Let's go to our elbow. The setup would be the same if I'm on my elbows or my hands. I don't want to be back, I want to be forward. I don't want to be down, I want to be up. Let's go for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. It's easy to be a little passive sometimes in exercises. It's not good enough just to be on our elbows or our hands. Make sure you're thinking about the brace. Make sure you're thinking about how high up you're pushing away from the bench or the floor. Let's do one more set, either hands or elbows. 15 seconds. Get set. And timer's on. 10 seconds to go. Stay high up on your toes. Keep pressing away from the bench or the floor. 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, nice. So we'll do some of these seated rotation exercises next. So you can be sitting on anything, a bench, a chair, side of your couch, whichever. We're gonna do feet about shoulder width apart. Hands gonna be up behind the head. Think about your posture being nice and tall. And just rotate one way, pause, rotate the other, and pause, We're gonna do that 5 times each way. So make 2, and 2, 3, and 3, 4, and 4, 5, and 5. Okay, so a couple things to think about as we go through this exercise. I am twisting, but my expectation isn't to turn all the way around. It's just to turn enough to the side where I can feel an increase in tension through my core. Before I do all of that movement, I want to try to brace and hold that brace. Let's try again for a total of 10 reps, 5 per side. So tall, hands up, feet flat, brace, twist, 1, and 1, 2, and 2, 3, and 3, 4, and 4, 5, and 5. Excellent. We're gonna do 2 more rounds. We're not gonna change much. Just wanna continue to work on keeping that brace consistent in your core, continuing to rotate and pause. One other detail maybe, if we haven't mentioned it yet, we don't want our legs to move. So our lower half is a strong foundation and the upper half moves. So let's try again for the 3rd set. Hands up, tall posture, brace the core. Let's twist, 1, and 1, 2, and 2, 3, and 3, 4, and 4, 5, and 5. Fantastic. We just have 1 set to go. Yeah, if this exercise seems easy, it's really not that hard. There's not a lot of resistance against our body. Really the challenge is really in our setup and remaining consistent with our setup. Tall posture, bracing the core, and being able to keep the brace when we rotate. But it can be complicated not from load, it can be complicated from the attention we have to maintain on our body, and the action of keeping our muscles braced can be challenging. Okay, let's brace, and 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, and 5. Good. So an exercise could be complicated, but not hard. Hard because it's not overly tiring. It's more concentration, more body awareness that makes it complicated. So those are interesting to consider. Different types of challenges that we can have in our exercise routine and the benefits that we gain from these different types of challenges. So the last thing today is just some side bending. And in the past, we've talked about holding things in our hands. We can hold any household object, buckets, gallons of water, cans of soup. If you have weights, we can hold weights. Okay, we can be really holding anything. Today, we're not gonna hold any resistance, but we're gonna move with some quickness. Okay, so here's our setup. Very important that we brace, and also we wanna make sure that we don't go as far as we can today. In our last workout for core, we held an object and we side bend as far as we could and side bend as far as we could. So we went full range of motion both ways. Today, we're gonna go about 50%, just about halfway, okay? And we're gonna move with a quick tempo. So no weights in our hands, just hands down to the side, feet about shoulder width apart. It's a small side bend and a small side bend, and we just gradually get faster and faster. In control, but quick. We'll go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax for a moment. This seems very basic, and it is, but again, it's details that we have to pay attention to. Our base is sturdy. I'm bracing my core the whole time, and the movement is only small to the side, but quick. And if we move quick and we keep braced, we'll feel fatigue in our trunk through all of these core muscles. All right, let's try again. Shoulder width apart, I'm tall in my posture. Okay, I'm braced, little side bend. Let's do 20. 3, 4, 5, keep going. 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 more. Just a little bend each way. Keep it quick. Keep the weight sturdy on the feet. We got about 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. If you can stay braced in your core muscles, if you can keep the tempo quick, as we approach that 15, 20 rep set, you may notice that these muscles are starting to work a bit and starting to get a little response toward fatigue. Okay, let's try again. Let's keep it quick. Let's do 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it going. We're at 10, 11, 12, 13. Brace the core. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Excellent. Do we do something like this in real life? I can't think of something that looks just like this, but I can think of things that create similar types of resistance and force management. What do I mean? We have to decelerate how quickly we're moving, brace our muscles, change direction, support the spine, move load. Well, that happens if we're going to open a car door. The wind blows a little bit. Something falls from a shelf, we catch it. We're carrying a bag in our hands, just one side, and we take a step, it's not perfect, and maybe we trip or stumble just a little bit, and that bag jerks in our hand. There are all these different types of forces that quickly hit our spine, hit our trunk, hit our hips, knees, and ankles that we have to accommodate for. And so having these bracing and anti-movements like the plank and introducing movements like these twists and these side bends can really help prepare us for those events. So again, do we stand and bounce side to side like this? And no. But the forces that we have to manage around our core and spine do happen practically, okay, in our daily life. Let's do one more set and wrap up today. Side bend quick, tall posture, brace the core, quick side bends, 1, 1, 2, 2. We're going to 20. Here's 5. Stay tight, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Good, the hips weren't moving, the upper body moved. And we practice these types of controlled movements when we warm our spine up. If that bothered your back or spine, okay, slow down, do less, or don't do it at all. Continue to come to workouts, continue to come to mobility workouts. You either aren't quite ready yet, things aren't loose or strong enough, or maybe the bracing got a little tired, you weren't able to stabilize. So we have to make modifications based on how we feel. If you felt good, try it again. Try it again tomorrow, try it again in a few days. Try it again before this workout rotates back in. Okay, y'all, we'll see you next time. Stay active every day.